Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial on decimals. Today we're going to learn how to do some conversion with decimals and some multiplication as well as some division and addition. So let's look first at how we convert decimals, two decimals, from a fraction. In this case we've got 9 over 10,000. We know that this is going to be less than 1, so our solution is going to be something to the right of the decimal point. But where? Well, we know 1 goes into 9 times. So the answer is going to be 9. But where to the right is the 9 going to be? Let's start by eliminating one position from both the numerator and the denominator. That's going to leave me with 3 zeros. So what we need to do is enter those 3 zeros to the right of our decimal point. We said 1 went into 9 times. So therefore, my answer is going to be 0.0009. Okay, now if we want to convert two decimals to a decimal fraction from 0.819, let's see how we do that. We know 0.819 is some number less than 1. So our fraction is going to be 819 divided by some number less than 1. 1 is going to go into 819 times. The decimal would then be to the left. So that is not what we're looking for. We're looking for 0.819. Let's add a 0 in here. What do we get? 10 goes into 819 81 times. Again, that's not what we're looking for. Let's add another 0. 100 goes into 819. How many times? 8. Nope, that's not what we're looking for. Add another 0. 1,000. Okie dokie. Now we are less than 1. 8.19 in fact. So 0.819 represents 819 over 1,000. Another way to have considered solving for this problem would have been to take that 819 over the numerator, just the way we've done, and then look at the number of places to the right of the decimal that we have in our number. There are 3. So there would have to be 3 zeros after the 1. All right, what else do we have? Let's convert two decimals and round to the nearest hundredth with the fraction of 3/8. What do? Well, we take 8 and we divide that into 3 and see what we get. We know that 8 can't go into 3, so we have to have a 0 there and follow it by a decimal to indicate there was nothing in that 3. Add a 0. 8 goes into 30 24 times. We subtract 24 from that 30 and we get a 6. Have to remember to write the 3 up on top. 8 times 3 is 24. All right, what do we have over here? We can't have a remainder. We just have to keep going. So let's add a 0 and see what happens. Drop that 0 down so we now have 60. Can 8 go into 60? You bet it can. 7 times. 8 times 7 is 56. And it leaves 4 left over. All right, let's continue on. Add another 0 and drop it down. 8 goes into 40, lo and behold, 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40, and that brings us to a 0. So our solution for 3/8 in a decimal form is 0.375. I'm asked in this case to round to the nearest hundredth. The hundredth position is right here. So our answer is 0.38. Okay, how'd you do with that? Let's move on and let's take a look at rearranging decimal numbers and adding them up. It's very important that you get the columns correct. So our first number is 14. point nothing, 0, 0, 0. The next number, line those decimals up, 642. Our next number is 9.34. Again, we have to line up those decimals, very important, and then all the other columns. And our last number is 15.872 and 1. And let's add these all up. Let's start with our column all the way over on the right hand side. The only thing we have in this column is a 1. Down it goes. Next column, 2 and 2, 4. Next column, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 and 7, 15, 5, and carry the 1. Now, 1 plus 6 is 7, 7 and 3 is 10, 10 and 8 is 18, 8. Carry my 1. Here we've got 14 and 5 is 19. Carry the 1. 1, 2, and 3. Don't forget to put your decimal spot back into your solution. So all four of those numbers add up to 39.8541. How we do with that? Okay. If we move on to our next number, we've got 28.53 times 17.4. The best way to approach this, I find, is to pretend there is no decimal spot there at all until the very end. Just ignore it. So go through multiplication as you would any other number. You would take 4 times 3, then 4 times 5, 4 times 8, 4 times 2, and move over to the sevens, and so on. What you're going to end up with in the end, let's go through it. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry your 1. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21. Carry your 2. 4 times 8 is 32, and 2 is 34. 4, carry the 3. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. Now don't worry about those decimal spots right now. Let's move on. 7 times 3 is 21. Move in one column. 1. Carry your 2. 7 times 5 is 35, and 2 is 37. 7. Carry your 3. 7 times 8 is 56. 56 and 3 is 59. 9. Carry the 5. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 and 5 is 19. And finally, we're going to multiply 1 times all of this. Move in one decimal spot. We end up with 3, 5, 8, and 2. And now, all we have to do is add all these numbers up. We have 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 plus 7 is 10, and 4 is 14. Carry your 1. 1 and 1 is 2. 9 is 11. 11 and 5 is 16. 6. Carry the 1. 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 9 is 11. 11 and 8. Let's clarify that 8 a bit. Where was I? 11, 8, 9. Carry my 1, and that gives you 49. 496422. But we have to deal with those decimal spots now. We have 1, 2, 3 decimal spots. So you move over 3 places from the right and enter your decimal spot. So your answer is 4096.422. And the last one we're going to do is to take a look at division. If I want to divide 2182 by 2.83, what do I do? Well, let's do it long form. 2.83. divided into 2, 1, 8, and 2. First thing you want to do is to remove that decimal. We do that by looking at the number of spots to the right of the decimal. There's 2. So we'll add 2 zeros to this number and then pretend that decimal spot doesn't exist. So 283, how many times does that go into 2? Can't do it. 21, can't do it. 218, can't do it. How about the whole 2182? Yes, it can. 7 times. So line that up on top of the 2. 7 times 283 is 1981. Subtract that from 2182 and you're going to get 201. Okay, 283 can't go into 201, so you're going to have to drop a 0 down here. And again, we can see that this will go in 7 times again. So once again, we take 1, 9, 8, 1 off of this. I'm just going to change colors here. Subtract 1981 from 2010 and you get 290. Sorry? Let me just see what's going on here. This doesn't seem right to me. 2182, 1981, 102. That's right. 1981. 7 times, that would give me a 9. 11 subtract 8, 3. There we go. Knew something wasn't quite right there. This should be a 3. And then we have 19. Sorry, I'm going to scratch this out and make this a little bit clearer underneath. Give me 1 second. Yeah, 29. Our answer right now is 29. All right, what do we do now? We have to drop another 0 in here. How many times can 283 go into this? 1 time. 1 time. 283. 290 subtract 283 is going to give you 7. Now, I'm going to go back to the black here. This was 1. We're going to have to drop a 0. Add a 0 down here. But you're going to know 283 is not going to go into 70. So put another 0 in. Now we're going to have 700 and we will find that 283 can certainly go into 700. And it's going to go in 2 times, which will give you 566. And you would continue on this way until you achieve the level of specificity that's being required from the question. So, our answer for this question, how many times can 2.83 go into 2182, is 771.02 times. Decimals back in. You can double check that by multiplying 771.02 times 2.83, and you're going to get 2182. That's the end of the tutorial on decimals.